Some days come and go unnoticed. April 13th isn't one of them. Across centuries, this date has witnessed empires fall, revolutions ignite, massacres unfold, and astronauts survive the unthinkable. Today, we rediscover 5 extraordinary moments that turned April 13th into a symbol of chaos, courage, and transformation. It began as a crusade to liberate the Holy Land. But on April 13th, 1204, the Fourth Crusade changed course and instead laid waste to Constantinople. The jewel of Eastern Christianity fell not to Muslims, but to fellow Christians. Churches were plundered, relics stolen, artworks destroyed. The Byzantines never fully recovered. The sack left the Eastern Orthodox Church bitterly divided from the Catholic West, and it remains so, even now. It was one of history's most painful betrayals. In Cairo, on April 13th, 1517, the last sultan of the Mamluk dynasty, Tumen Bey II, was publicly executed. The Ottomans, led by Sultan Selim I, had conquered Egypt. This wasn't just a military takeover. With Tumen Bey's fall, political and religious power shifted permanently from Cairo to Istanbul. The Ottomans gained control over Mecca and Medina, the holiest cities in Islam. The Mamluk era, famed for its architecture, art, and military dominance, ended in silence on this very day. Despite its name, the March 31st incident broke out on April 13th, 1909. Istanbul was in turmoil. Religious soldiers revolted against the Young Turk movement and the new constitution. They demanded a return to Islamic rule and the dismissal of reformist officers. But the counter-revolution failed. Mustafa Kemal and the Army of Action stormed the capital days later, suppressing the rebellion. The Sultan, Abdul Hamid II, was removed. It was the final breath of an empire struggling to modernize and failing. April 13th, 1919. In Amritsar, India, thousands of peaceful demonstrators gathered at Jallianwala Bagh. British Brigadier General Reginald Dyer ordered his troops to block the gates and open fire. Men, women, children, trapped with no escape, fell in the hundreds. Nearly 400 people were killed, over 1,000 injured. The massacre shocked the world and galvanized India's independence movement. Gandhi's call for nonviolent resistance gained unstoppable momentum. It was a turning point, not just for India, but for the entire British Empire. On April 13th, 1970, 56 hours into its mission, NASA's Apollo 13 spacecraft suffered a catastrophic explosion. An oxygen tank had ruptured. Life support systems began failing. The moon landing was aborted. Now, the goal was survival. Stranded in space, astronauts Jim Lovell, Fred Hayes, and Jack Swigert had only their wits and Earth's engineers to rely on. Against impossible odds, using a risky slingshot trajectory around the moon, they made it home. Apollo 13 became one of the greatest rescues in the history of spaceflight. So next time you glance at April 13th on a calendar, pause. It's more than a number. It's a day when the past whispered louder than usual. Which of these stories struck you the most? Drop a comment below. Like, share, and remember, history isn't just what happened. It's how we choose to remember it.